But the one that had the biggest effect on me was 1982. Okay, I had calculated that American banks had lent a lot of money to a bunch of countries that would not be able to pay back. Latin American and emerging countries that couldn't pay back. And it was a sort of a crazy point of view. But Mexico defaulted August 1982. And I thought the stock market's going to go down, and the stock market went up because the Federal Reserve eased, things changed, and whatever, and I learned. So I lost all these people I cared about. I was very publicly wrong. And
how many employees were left when you were done?
Me. So I had to make a choice. Am I going to put on a tie and go to Wall Street and have a job or not? And I had to borrow $4,000 from my dad to help pay for my family bills. Wow. And that was one of the most painful experiences that I ever had. I think in order to be successful, you have to do 5 things. There's a sequence, okay?
Great.
First, you have to have your goals.
What is best for you depends on your nature, so you need to really understand yourself and know what you want to achieve in life.
Next, problems. On your way to your goals, you're going to encounter your problems or your failures.
These problems are typically painful. If handled badly, some of them can lead to your ruin.
Number 3 is then diagnose them to get at their root causes. And often those root causes are things that people are doing wrong. Maybe you're doing wrong. Maybe it's a weakness of you.
Yes.
Notice the patterns. Get at the root causes.
Yes.
Once you know the root causes to your problems, then you go to find out a design.
Yep.
So you've diagnosed it to its root cause. Find out the design of what you're going to do about that. So let's say you have a weakness. You might not, maybe it's develop the strength, or maybe it is to work with somebody who's strong where you're weak.
So you don't always have to be able to overcome every weakness. Sometimes it's finding the right partner.
It's usually the most practical thing, right?
That makes sense.
Because everybody's brain works in different ways.
Yes.
In other words, to see something one way, you're probably going to be blind in another way.
Yeah.
So to know how to work with people who are strong where you're weak is very powerful. And number 5 is to push through to results, right? So you say, I've got a design. Okay, now goddamn do that design. This is what I call this looping. Go for your goals, identify and not tolerate your problems, get to the root cause of them, then design a path to fix those things, and then go beyond it to push through. And you just life is just basically keep doing that over and over again.
Yes.
And if you do that, you'll make the advances. That is why failure's a teacher. You know, if you have success, you did it right. So there's nothing to learn probably, right? If you have failure, there's something to learn, right?
Yes.
Make the most of your failures.
First of all, if you're not pushing the limits, you're like in skiing or something. If you're not pushing the limits, you're not growing. In order to be successful in the markets, you have to be an independent thinker. That means you have to bet against the consensus and be right. That's very difficult, right?
Learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
Realize that you're not in it alone.
Yes.
Know how to get the best resources and know how to learn from that thoughtful disagreement.
Yes.
And you will get there. You will evolve. There is always a best path.
The key to my success has been much more on my knowing how to deal with my not knowing than it's been due to anything I know, right? Because what we don't know is much greater than what we do know. And so that made the change. So I started to realize what don't I know and how do I deal with my not knowing well. And it was through that I learned how to have this thoughtful disagreement to get the better answers and learn well, and how to diversify my bets in a way that produced my better return to risk ratio. That discovery was the key to Bridgewater's success.